probably like a lot of other people, you're trying to sort of explain something to yourself. You're trying to give sort of some kind of an explanation, a broader meaning to your existence, for want of a better word. This painting up here to the left, and this painting up here, one has a kind of a towards evening and a slow moving river. They're kind of opposite, but they're the same, because they're both capturing a kind of a mood or an atmosphere. That is one of the things which I do try to put into my painting. Rather than actually creating a physical thing, I try to create that kind of an atmosphere, which is a bit like music, the atmosphere that you get in music. Well, naturally, the Impressionists, we'd all be influenced. Most artists are influenced by the Impressionism, because it did move artists into a kind of a new type of freedom. There's kind of several broad themes that do tend to have their feet either in an urban or a rural basic setting. That would make sense, because I actually come from rural Fermanagh, and I spent a lot of time in cities, and I've travelled a lot in parts of southern Europe, so the paintings would have those various broad influences. The painting here towards evening has that kind of quietness about it. It's kind of a reminiscent. There's a kind of a bog scene, there's a setting sun, there are people, so it's a kind of like a memory type painting. I'm trying to capture atmosphere as well, apart from physical accuracy, because slow moving river, towards evening, they're kind of capturing nostalgia. Probably would be a good word to use. Not a sentimentality, but a kind of a nostalgia. It has a kind of a cubist thing. You were asking earlier on my influences. There certainly would be artists like Paul Klee. Picasso did, along with George Braque, invent cubism. You would be conscious of that type of painting, breaking up the landscape and showing pieces. The point I'm trying to make in this painting is that art doesn't have to be woefully serious. You can make a point, get a point across in a kind of a sardonic or humorous way, and also make it a serious painting. In this one, there's somebody selling. Obviously, it's a Vermeer, but it must be a fake Vermeer, because there's only that particular Vermeer only exists in one gallery in the world. A painting called Sunrise on the Farm, which I would say is based on George Orwell's, but again, possibly it's a memory of reading what went on in that George Orwell. Yeah, this particular painting shows a chicken on a bicycle, but I think what really happened was that the pigs took over an animal farm, but they got too fat, and then the chickens have taken over. So it's kind of a parallel to what does happen in politics, I suppose. There's a slight insight into that. The painting After the Shower does have those elements of Impressionism which you were talking about earlier on. It's a diptych, which means it's in two parts, which could reflect the kind of different times of the day, different landscapes, different weathers, atmospheres. That kind of is the idea of that. But it's called After the Shower, and this is for Impressionism. In other words, it's the impression of a moment, what the countryside looks like after a particular shower of rain. But the bicycle symbolises a kind of a moment, a movement, a possibility of arriving or travelling on. It's like the painting, the September Student, the girl with her bicycle. She's again about to embark on her career, and it shows the girl's father, and he is using the pitchfork to prevent another bicyclist, a cyclist, who is possibly the boyfriend who was rejected by the man with the pitchfork. The painting, the picnic, the flower picker's picnic, because you have in that painting another bicycle and a possible boyfriend or person sitting on the bench, and he's looking two ways. He's both looking across the painting, but he's also kind of looking out towards us, out towards the viewer. The girl is her slight state of unsureness is shown by the large white boots she's wearing, and also the fact that her arms are hanging down by her side. There's also a possible other suitor in the background behind on the left hand side. So it's this interaction of human activity which I sometimes display. My rural paintings do have people in them, yes, and the family group at the well. That's a kind of for me, it's a kind of a personal painting, because as life moves on and as your parents sort of move on, again this brings back memories of your own life. That the family group at the well, those would be sort of derived from early memory. You imagine what life was like back then, because life did exist and life just keeps moving on. But at one time there was a lot of activity in these old places. Yes. As with a lot of rural Ireland, some of it is becoming a little bit underpopulated because for economic reasons. This is the story of Ireland over some centuries.